Hi everyone, it's Nisha here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. So today is day 9 of our 30-day challenge and it's all things service accommodation. So with the first couple of videos that I've done on service accommodation, we've learned about what service accommodation is all about, how you can generate £500 to £1,000 profit from service accommodation from your property or a property that you don't actually own yourself. How do you market? Where do you list your properties? So we've covered quite a lot. So if you have missed any of those videos, I will strongly advise you to go back and watch those so you do not get confused with some of the content that I'm bringing on now, because it's going to be slightly more focused and detailed, and it might confuse you if you've not watched the first few videos and you're completely new to service accommodation. So here we go. So today we're going to compare service accommodation to a buy to let. Very often is referred as BTL, which is buy to let, and a lot of people tend to compare service accommodation with buy to let because service accommodation is most probably least in terms of risk compared to strategy compared to service accommodation. So for example, on a buy-to-let, you will be buying a property and letting it out. Now you will let it to one person for 6 months, for a year, or maybe more. It could be a really good tenant and you're getting your guaranteed regular rent every single month. Now with service accommodation, it's slightly different. So you do not have any tenant. The people that stay at your property are guests and they don't have any rights on the property. Now, the challenge with that is you actually don't have any guaranteed fixed income every month. So your income will depend on the number of bookings you receive, and that depends on how good you are at selling your property. So that's the difference, the main difference between a buy-to-let and a service accommodation. Now, why would you then go for a why would you go for service accommodation instead of a buy-to-let if it's guaranteed profit on a buy-to-let? Now, with your buy-to-let, your profit margin is generally quite low compared to a service accommodation, and that's the main reason why people do service accommodation. But also, when you do rent to service accommodation, this is very much a cash flow strategy where people are looking for a passive income. I wouldn't say completely passive because obviously service accommodation does require a lot of work, but it is a good general income that's going to come every single month if you set it up properly and you know what you're doing. Now, compared to a buy-to-let, you might be getting every month a return between £100 to £200, £300 a month. Now, obviously, with expenses going up at the moment, it might be a bit less, or so your cost of management can go up and it might be a bit less, but generally that's what you're looking at. Whereas with service accommodation, you could get anything between £500, £1,000. If you're going bigger property, you could get £3,000 profit every single month, depending the size of the property, the kind of booking you have. So for example, at the moment we have a big property which is a 7-bedroom property, and we are currently hosting about 13 people in the property, and it's a booking for a couple of months. Now those people are going to pay way over £6,000 for this property for a whole month. Now the cost of running it is definitely not going to be in 5,000, 4,000, 3,000, maybe about 2 or under 2, I would say. Definitely cost of running itself. But then if you take out the mortgage costs and things like that, you're definitely making a decent profit from this property. You know, at least a £3,000 profit from this property, if not more. So you can see where with service accommodation, it's slightly more risk with it, but the return is higher. So with property, all the strategy are very much related to the level of risk. The more the risk, the higher the return, and the less risk, the lower the return. And buy-to-let, if you look at all the different level strategies, most probably the lowest in terms of risk, which is why the return is a lot less compared to other strategy. For example, if you were to compare it to HMOs, HMOs is house of multiple occupancy, where you take a house and you have different people living in there, by each of them occupying a separate room. So that's what HMOs is. So I hope I haven't confused you too much today with a lot of technical words. But if I have, do not hesitate to ask any question. I just recently had the question about the buy-to-let and the HMO, which is why I thought today we'll take the opportunity to cover that, but also help others who are thinking about the same thing. Shall I go for buy-to-let or shall I go for a service accommodation? My answer is always, it depends on your investment you have. It depends on what you want to achieve. If you want short-term gain or long-term gain, if you want to build capital or you want to just build some income, cash flow income coming in. And it also depends on your level of risk. It's very important. Some people don't like to take a lot of risk, and that's completely fine. We're all very different and we all have different approach to property investing. I hope you have found this useful. If you've got any question, as usual, don't hesitate to contact me. And if you want more detailed content, you can always go to my KVM service accommodation coaching community, and that's where we put a lot of more content in there for you to help you in your property journey. Have a fantastic day, everyone. Take care. Bye.